Hello, welcome to Law Tutorials. My name is Elelyon, head bar exam coach at Law Tutorials, and today I just have a very quick video for you, and I just want to go through how not to freak out before, during, and after the bar exam. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's the bar exam, and you are literally within every right. You have every right to want to freak out, and I too have been there. Believe me, greatest freak out style. Okay, that's how it's been for me before. I've even had panic attacks before the bar exam and still passed. So I just here to assure you and just give you some tips so that when you're taking the bar exam and even moments before, you're able to stay cool, calm, and collected and pass the exam confidently and comfortably. So if this is your first time coming across the channel, which it most likely is, make sure you give it a thumbs up if it's helpful to you. Leave any comments below, any questions that you have, and also subscribe and hit the notification bell. So let's get straight into it with number one. So the very first thing I would say in not freaking out before the bar exam is, and I know it sounds a bit cliche, but believe in yourself. Remember who you are. Remember how far you've come, and literally just surround yourself with these reminders. And the reason I say this is because it's something that actually, for some reason, psychologically, it really goes a long way. So for me personally, I used to give myself pep talks in the mirror all the time. And when I tell you, I would be like, no, Elion, you can do this. And I'd be like, yeah, I can do this, can't I? I'm like, actually, yeah, I can. And it would just be like, it was literally just a conversation with myself, but it was able to remind me who I am and that I can and will pass, and I can and did pass. So I think it's something that definitely helps, just because having that confidence in yourself, having that positivity brings you to a mind frame where you're kind of on top of the world, even if you're at maybe your lowest point or you're freaking out, like genuinely, you are still able to get to a point where you can control that just by talking to yourself, just by your thoughts, the thoughts that you're having. So that's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is, if you haven't already, get yourself a cheer squad. So get yourself a team, a support system, just the people who you can go to when you're at your very lowest, and you know they will lift you up back to your very highest. Those are the kinds of people you want around you. You don't want to surround yourself with people that you feel uncomfortable with, or aren't, either they don't get it or they aren't quite going to give you the support you need. You have those people who are kind of like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, it's the bar exam, but come on, it's just like any other exam. But it's not. I mean, like, the bar exam is literally what separates those who are going to become lawyers and attorneys from those who aren't. So it's literally the exam to get you to literally the final stage of your legal career. So it's definitely a big deal. And surround yourself with people who understand that. And if they don't understand, make them understand so that they can be as supportive as you need them to be at any given point in time. Put them on speed dial, if speed dial still exists, or on your favorites. Make sure you have them in your pocket. It doesn't even have to be thousands of people. It can be one person. It could be your cat. It could be your dog. It could be your goldfish named Bobby. It could be anyone or anything that's going to bring you back to that zen and also remind you of who you are. And for me, it was my family, my parents, brothers, sisters, and my closest friends. And sometimes even just having that cheer squad of the people who kind of know the journey you're on, it kind of gives you that push to make them proud as well. Because for me, it was like, yeah, I have to, gotta do it this time. Like, everyone's believing in me. So if everyone else is believing in me, then I also should believe in me. So that's, make sure you've got someone that you can, even just on the day of the exam, which we'll get to in a minute, talk through if you need to talk to. Sometimes I know you don't want to talk, and I get that, but just identify the people that you can call on if you ever feel like you're going to have a low moment, or you really are going to freak out. Okay, so number 3 is keep practicing. Now, it depends on how far along you are, if it's the morning before. And I know people say, don't practice the morning of the bar exam, or don't practice the night of the bar exam, just take it easy. And honestly, what I would say to that is, it's not wrong, but do what feels right to you. If you know doing these practice questions is what's going to help, because maybe say out of like 2000 you've only done like 1971 and you've got like another 29 to go. I do law for a reason, but that was okay. Another 29 questions to go, and just completing those 29 questions will put you at ease. Then by all means, do those 21 extra questions, 29 extra, however many, it's just all hypothetical. But the whole point is, if doing some extra questions is what's going to put you at ease, then do that. If staying away from questions is going to put you at ease, then do that. Whatever you need to do. But what I would say is, if it's like a few weeks before, obviously, I'm going to say keep practicing, because the more you practice, the more confident you become. It's like if you're going to do like a dance routine, right? And you've only practiced it one time, unless you're like a super pro dancer, like me. Kidding. But if you had one of those, like a routine, and you'd only practiced once, you're not going to feel as confident as opposed to if you had practiced thousands of times or hundreds of times or even at least a handful of times. So keep practicing to gain that confidence, and that will help you to stay cool, calm and collected before you take the exam. And if it's right before the exam, I've got some other tips that I will get to in just a moment. Number 4 is to find a release. And what I mean by that is do something that is gonna, there's going to be a lot of nerves, tension, like anxiety that could be building up in your body. And literally finding a release, mainly a physical release, is something that would definitely help get rid of those nerves. So whether it's boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, dancing, fighting, not like going out and picking fights with people, but like, karate or martial arts. Doesn't even have to be that. It could be like press ups. For me, I would say I would work out every morning. And just like I would just do that like shaky thing, that like shaking all your, like just shaking everything out, that works. Secondly, like dancing, I used to have like a hype song where I would just like, anytime I was like either feeling low or starting to panic, or I never really had panic moments, like real panic moments, apart from the one panic attack that I had. But if I ever did feel like off, I would literally just play the song, which basically just reminded me that everything I want is right in front of my eyes. So when I see it, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to get it. And that's what I did. So having like either a go-to song or something that can help pump you up to get you, so you're not freaking out, that is something that definitely works for me. This is why I'm sharing them with you. And yeah, so it could be anything. And also just kind of making yourself laugh. Like, even if you're just watching a show or anything, I literally would make myself laugh all the time, just because of the weird stuff I would end up doing. I would literally have dance battles with myself, and whoever won would read out the next set of questions, or, I tried to turn everything into some kind of, anything to kind of keep me, ready to go and geared to getting on with the exam. So there's that. And then I would say the last one for right before the bar exam is make sure you've slept well. Make sure your sleep schedule is on point. There will be another video about how I fell asleep during the bar exam on multiple occasions, and it was not a pretty sight at all. So that's a whole nother story. But what I will say is, when you haven't had a good sleep and when you're not well rested, you're not going to be at your best. Your performance is not going to be at its best, and you also will be quite you're going to be on edge. Like, you're not going to feel how you should feel. Your body needs that rest. So please don't, if you're watching this the day before the bar exam, please don't do an all-nighter. Definitely don't do an all-nighter. It's honestly, you would do better to get the sleep than to try and stay up and maybe look at more questions. And this is literally me talking from personal experience. So please, I implore you, get some sleep, and that will go, trust me, it will go lengths. I don't know if that makes sense, but it will literally go such a long way for you on the day of the bar exam. So these are 5 tips for before the bar exam. Now, I've got 3 tips for during the bar exam. And the first one I would say for during the bar exam, like when you're at your desk, you've opened your laptop, breathe. That's the first one. I wasn't going to say it just yet. I was trying to set the scene, but then I took a deep breath, and that's literally what I used to do. Like, I would take a deep breath. I actually learned some breathing exercises to help kind of slow down like my heart rate, because sometimes as soon as I sat down, like the heart would just start going like everything. It's like everything that I've been, working on for the last however many weeks and months, it's literally all coming to its head again. Not the best with the phraseology, but you get what I mean. So taking deep breaths, even there, not like the loud ones that where you're like, like not like pregnancy breaths for anybody who's gone through that, but I mean more like just like calm, like deep breaths. Like, trust me, it makes a big difference. Okay, so that's the first one. Secondly, I would say, do not compare yourself to anyone around you. Do not look at what the person next to you is doing, or this is if you're in person. I know there may be some jurisdictions doing online still, but if you are in person, do not like get distracted by what the person next to you or in front of you or anywhere around you is doing, because I made that mistake one time and it put me into, oh my gosh, it was the worst thing to have done. And basically it was, I think, in the MPT section, and the girl next to me, just as soon as, and I had my own strategy for MPTs, right? As soon as the exam started and we ripped open the paper, she did like a little karate. It was just really cool the way she did it. Anyway, she rips the paper open seamlessly. Mine like rips pretty much in half because I couldn't get the sticker bit off. Anyway, anyway, she then starts typing because I was on my laptop. I always did laptop, yeah. She just starts typing, and she's just typing, and I'm like, I freeze, and I'm like, what is she typing? And I'm like, focus. But then I'm thinking, no, what should I be typing right now? And she had barely even read through like the file or the library, like, not that I could see so much, but you can just like feel what everyone's doing. And it wasn't just her, there's people around me, everyone everywhere was typing. And at that time, that was not my strategy. So I was like, what is going on? And then I started typing, and then I was like MPT 1, and I was like rubbing it out like, no, why did I write that? And I'm thinking, what should I be typing right now? And so for me, that really threw me off my game, because I had a different game plan for how I was dealing with MPTs at the time. And for me then to panic because everybody else in the room started typing, that's how it felt to me anyway. I think they were just typing really loud and fast as well. So then I just started to like freak out basically, and so I lost some time, I lost some focus, and then it took me a while to come back to and just be like, no, do what you've been practicing all along, because I always did well with MPTs because I've had actual practical experience in law. So MPTs were never like an issue for me. I just freaked out for no reason, because I was focused on what everyone else around me was doing. So that's why I say that. And then finally, I would say in the breaks, literally try as much as you can to tune out. Don't get caught up in conversations. Don't get caught up in the whole, like people trying to, I mean, if it helps you, then by all means. But for me, especially because I was there by myself anyway, I wasn't going to strike up a conversation with, like a random person and start like freaking out with them. I just wasn't going to do that. So I just tuned out completely, had my earphones in as soon as I could. And another reason I say that is because in one of the breaks, I didn't realize with the MBE portion that everyone's tests are staggered. So people get different exam papers like in different sets. And so then everyone was talking about this thing with a car. I hope I'm not getting anyone in trouble here, but it was just all hypothetical, okay? So people were talking about stuff, but like stuff that I hadn't. Like, what did you think about that one with the thief in the car? And I was like, I didn't see one with a thief in a car. Until this day, I don't even remember if I ever saw that question. But then I was starting to panic. Like, did I zone out to the extent that I didn't even remember a question? So that really freaked me out. And then the whole second portion, I was looking for a question with a thief on a car, and I don't think I ever found it. And maybe they were using code terms. Who knows? I have no idea. But then I let that get to me when I shouldn't have. So tuning out is really important, just for your own sake of mind, and it helps you stay cool, calm, and collected so that you can get through the exam. Because getting through the exam alone is a big task. So the last thing you want is for external factors to come and add to that and stress you out even more and make you freak out even more. No, no, no. So, okay, so then we'll move to after, but actually I will make a separate video about what you should do after so that you don't freak out in that time period waiting for your results is, first of all, celebrate. You really should celebrate because finishing the bar exam is such a big achievement and I hope you know it. So you literally should celebrate and take time to, understand exactly what you have accomplished. And then secondly, I would say, and again I will cover this, I'll just make it brief here. I would say to start preparing for your future life as an attorney. Start getting your papers in order, your affairs in order, get those references, and all of that stuff. And also get back to doing the things that you couldn't do in all that time when you were studying, all the things you said no to, all the events you didn't go to, everything that you couldn't do, all the movies you couldn't watch, all the shows you skipped out on, all of that stuff. You can get back into that rhythm because once you get into that life as an attorney in the future, you will be busier than ever. So don't forget that. And make the most of the time that you have where obviously you're in a bit of a limbo, but try and stay positive. Just try not to get, it's hard. I know it's hard because I've been there, but try and get your focus onto something else, something positive, and don't fret too much. I used to hear that saying a lot, but I get it now. So try not to fret. Think positively throughout, and understand that it's out of your hands now. There's literally nothing you can do. Literally, like nothing. There's absolutely nothing you can do to change how the day went. So there's no point stressing about it. I don't mean that in any kind of way, but it's true. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you need any help, if you just want to have a call with me, all the details will be in the description box. But yes, just understand and remember who you are, how far you've come, your accomplishments, how amazing you are, and that you will pass. And if I can do it, if I could do it, you could too. Because I say this to my students all the time, and it's become like my saying with them because it's true. If I could do it, honestly, anyone can. So just remember that. Remember how amazing you are, and just go in with a positive mindset. And yeah, if you have any questions or just need someone to talk to, reach out to me. I'm always available. And we will speak again soon.